Oh my gosh,
Fundamentals.
we would be the bad boys of Little League. I'm telling you now, we would beat the tar out of the other team.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has
on
to be.
Pub more. I mean,
Has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
Man, I'm gonna get real theological on y'all. I think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. I'll just be real honest.
Let's get Luke Combs. I was begging for Luke Combs not too long ago. We'll get Luke Combs on here. I challenge Luke. I think I can actually beat him in shotgunning a beer. So if he thinks he's got the cojones to come on and try, then by all means, Luke, bring it on.
That's the intro. You just hit my promo for me, James. I love it. Episode 167. Big Devontae Keith back in the building, baby. Preacher Man Fitzsimmons coming from the 828. And from across the pond, Matt Bloody Whitehorns back, baby. It'll be a good show. I feel good about this. Good energy. Great seeing all those beautiful faces. Cracked open one. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to the pub. Let's go.
It's a Coke. It's a Coke Zero, but that's okay.
You don't have to tell people that. It's
Even
all for
healthy.
appearances. Yeah. Yeah. Even. All right. Blind top 5 in honor of college football returning this week. We've got the blind top 5 college football teams. Are all these teams come from our memories? I didn't date back even to mid and late 90s. I kept those out. So this is from 2000 on. I put these teams together. Okay.
Yeah. And this is the new Florida doc drops tonight. Is that right?
It's already out. Yep.
I've
Is it
already watched
out?
it.
Okay.
I've already watched it.
Okay. Oh man, I gotta catch up then.
Yeah. The Swamp Kings.
Yeah.
So I'm through episode 1 right now. No spoilers, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's good.
It's pretty damn good. Even when the Brit says it's good, you know it's damn good.
Exactly.
Very good. All right. So, top college teams. We're going to start with the banger. 2001, the U, Miami.
Now, what I don't want to get mixed up. Throw some names out there for I have an idea,
I think
but
that's the.
I'm thinking about the whole.
This is the Ray Lewis, Ed Reed.
Okay, that's what I thought. All
Yep.
right, cool.
Yep.
No, Ray Lewis went on that team. That was earlier.
The
This
2001.
is the Ken
Huh.
Dorsey. This is Ken Dorsey, Andre
Oh, this is the
Johnson.
one.
Oh, yeah. You're right. God,
This is
Willis
Greg-
McGahee.
Greg
keep
Olsen,
me in
right?
check.
I think Reed is on there, but
Yeah.
Lewis was already in the NFL.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Good call.
Greg Olsen. Was Chris Gamble? Oh, no, that's the other side. I'm sorry. Philip.
I think Jeremy Shockey.
Yeah.
Willis
that's what-
McGahee,
I mean, it's-
Jeremy Shockley, Ken
I think
Dorsey,
this is my number one. I'm gonna
Frank
lock it in.
Gore, Clinton
I mean,
Portis.
you
Oh,
started
this is with the 300
strong.
Najee Davenport, McGahee, and I think freshman
Clinton
Frank Gore.
Portis. Frank Gore
Clinton
was a
Portis.
freshman. Yep.
Clinton
Clinton
Portis.
Portis.
Oh,
That's right.
Vince
Yeah, this is my
Wilfork.
number one. This is my number one. Lock it in.
Yeah.
This is the most ridiculous team. It's insane, and it's weird that Ken Dorsey is at the helm.
right.
Like all these names, Ken Dorsey's their QB.
So, yeah.
But no, this is the best team. This is the best team in college football.
This is a team that Larry Croker inherited, and they said, just don't fuck up the Lamborghini.
I'm kind of scared for the rest of them, so I'm gonna just go safe and go number 2. I feel like I might regret it, but you know what? I'll go with number 2. Just
Okay.
we'll say they get a knock for Ken Dorsey, even though that's still wild to me. Like
Yeah.
just looking now that I know the roster now, just looking at the roster, I'm thinking man, these guys here, how were they legally able to do this in college football?
Yeah.
And I
Matt-
guess that's what happens when you shop at home, because a lot of those guys were from South Florida, so it's
Yeah.
yeah.
They put that recruiting fence up. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go number 1 as well. Insane depth chart, ridiculous. I looked up online. They had 16 from this team. They had 16 first round picks. That's fucking insane. So yeah, number 1.
Good call. Good call, boys. Okay. I like it. We're off to a strong start. Let's go 2022 Georgia Bulldogs. Back-to-back Natty champs.
Mm.
Mm.
Might be a little trickier.
I mean, the back-to-back is noted. That is definitely something it should be.
Think.
I will say it did something that Miami didn't have to do, a true playoff format,
Mm.
Yep.
and to go back-to-back in that regard. I don't know. I don't know if I can get behind, and maybe it's just too early with some of those names. Like there's just, there's a lot of unproven.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this one at number 5, though. I'm just going to go ahead and put it at 5.
Holy smokes.
And
Okay.
maybe it's just that, you beat TCU. Like, what's the true test here?
I mean, oh man. I mean, yeah, I'll put him at number 4. I'll give Stetson Bennett the Ken Dorsey treatment thus far. But to keep the same team for 2 years, that's good. But also, like, I don't know, looking at them and like seeing their path to that point, I get the side eye just because like it is the SEC, but it is the SEC. So I don't know. They beat Bama, I guess. If that's the end all be all. So I'll put them in number 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go number 4 as well. I feel like there's a couple better teams to come. I put them at number 4 over number 5 just because they're back to back.
Okay. All right. 2004 USC Trojans.
Oh, this is a solid one.
Fun too.
What was going for the repeat, right? This
And
was the
Vince
team
Young
that
stopped
then-
him in
that
05.
then lost to Vince Young. But that's like the greatest. It's probably the greatest championship still.
100%.
I'll lock these guys in. Yeah, you got Pete Carroll there too. Just
Reggie
Pete Carroll
Bush,
to
Matt
then go
Leinart.
on. Reggie Bush was one of the greatest players.
Ryan Khalil.
I'll put him at 2. I'm putting him at 2 for me. I think it's a solid number 2.
Mm. Yeah, just off of nostalgia's sake, I have to put them at number 3. That was a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
And like that was a point. Everybody had Reggie Bush on their MySpace backgrounds.
That's right.
He really started moving with that one. So I got to put them at number 3.
Yeah, I'm going number 3 as well. Fantastic. Reggie Bruce, absolute classic. So unbelievable plays at this time of Trojans. So yeah, number 3.
Good choice, boys. All right. Speaking of Swamp Kings, 2008 Florida Gators.
And see, that's a mistake. I should have put USC at 3. But I think it's close. But yeah, Florida, putting them at 3 is tough. They should be higher on my list. Just with a similar effect to Miami. It's like if those two teams clashed, like that Florida squad versus Miami, that would be brutal. I mean, one, just the whole Miami versus Florida, but then they both have that, like, you look at the names on the rosters effect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's 3 for me. I screwed myself on putting USC at 2. You got me, Hack. Classic.
I'm looking at the roster. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable putting them at 5, number 5. Yeah, I'll put them at number 5. I can't in good conscience put them at number 1.
Oh my
and
gosh.
hopefully this number 1 team isn't. I bet money he's gonna do one of the Trevor Lawrence Clemson teams. But I can't in good conscience put Florida at number 1. I mean, they were also fun to watch, but they weren't as fun to watch as Miami or USC. Just because I wasn't a big fan of Tebow. I mean, he was cool just for coolness' sake, but
yeah,
I'm cool on it.
Yeah, I'm going to go number 5 as well. Spoil a little bit, the documentary. It's good, but it's not amazing. So for that reason, I'm going to put it at number 5.
Fair enough. And this is the only team on my list that has a single loss on the record. Every other team is undefeated.
There we go.
This Gator team lost to the Ole Miss, and that triggered the Tim Tebow speech of I'll give my all and all that. All right, 5th and final team. You know I had to throw them on there. 2019 Joey B. LSU Tigers.
Yeah, I thought it coming.
Go Tigers.
Oh,
Jamar Chase,
That is a
Justin
good
Jefferson, Derek Stingley, Patrick Queen.
that's a good one. I actually like that team better than the USC team, but I've got to put LSU at 4. And again, out of the QBs on this list, Burrow is the guy.
Yeah.
That if you put any of these teams against each other, like as the kind of who's the best, Joe Burrow would be the X factor.
He's got a chance.
You actually have a chance. He's got a chance against any of these teams.
Yeah, I'm fine with putting this team at number 1. Joe Burrow was a dog. That man went through several dog fights just to make everybody eat it. I can appreciate that. Along with having Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in their beginning stages. Funny story, I really didn't know Justin Jefferson was Jordan Jefferson's brother until he got drafted. And I kind of felt old, but also I felt dumb for not knowing that. But yeah, I'm comfortable putting that 2019 LSU team up there. They were amazing.
Yeah.
That stuff.
I think my last slot I've got left is number 2, and I'm pretty happy with that. I watched the semi-finals game against OU with my mate who's a Sooners fan, and I just watched him just absolute die with that first half. With Joe Burrow threw 5 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Probably the most insane performance I've ever seen, and just halftime we were playing FIFA and having a curry. There was no point in watching the game. It was just absolute devastating performance. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And Keith, don't worry, man. I didn't realize that was his brother until after he was drafted too. So you weren't the only one. Yeah. All right, good list, boys. I feel like y'all nailed it. Fitz, maybe he had the worst list there, but that's all right.
Man, you kidding me? My number 1 is taking down any of those teams.
Yeah,
But Joe Burrow makes it interesting. I give you Burrow makes it interesting, but come on, the U.
Miami
Those guys are
had
nasty.
some 30-year-olds and 20-year-old bodies, so you might big time.
Who are the 2 safeties on that team? Were Ed Reed and Sean Taylor.
Sean Taylor.
Imagine Burrow
30
trying to squeeze it in a window with those 2 guys. It's not happening.
Yo, but could you imagine you got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson?
That'd be a great matchup.
It'd be
I
great.
think they'd be scared to catch it. To be honest,
I'm not going across the middle.
Because 2001, that's when people basically died on the field. So
That's fair. Honorable mention: 2005 Texas Longhorns, and then 2013 Florida State Seminoles, 2018 Clemson Tigers.
No Bama.
2020 Bama was
Okay.
by statistics the best Bama team he's had so far.
that felt fake though. I don't know. That's a Mickey Mouse ring.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. All right, let's stay with college football. Let's talk about a little preseason rankings. Saturday morning, I think me and Devontae we're gonna hop on, do a little kickoff show, and maybe some other boys hop on too. So it's gonna be good. We'll go into projections and bets then, but this is just preseason rankings. UG1, no surprise, right? They're aimed to get that 3-peat. Michigan at 2, feel like they've reloaded their back. Ohio State still haven't decided a quarterback. They're at sitting number 3. Bama's at 4, always dangerous. 5 LSU, 6 USC, 7 Penn State. Looking through this list, there's a few damn, they're in the top 25, like Oregon State and Iowa. It's a little head scratching for me. UNC at 21. I don't know, man.
Don't let them play our schools like that and just put UNC up there. That's crazy.
Right?
Talk.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
It's
Put Iowa, but forget UNC because they got something. But Iowa, everybody always holds all of this hope for Iowa, and what happens? Nothing.
The Great White Hope.
They don't learn, bro. They don't learn.
Yeah, I still can't get over that thriller of a barn burner 9-2 game.
That was so ugly. Oh my god!
Man.
I can't believe I sat there and watched it.
Football's back, baby. Yeah, I can't stand it.
Yeah, before the conferences got screwed up, my hopes were in Utah. I just feel like Utah is going to find its way to a playoff at some point. Like, they'll be like the TCU of a playoff
I like that.
at some point. So that's one to keep an eye on. Just Utah at 14. I think that's a little too low. I think they'll kind of move their way up through the season.
I'm kind of confused at 19 and 20. Wisconsin and Oklahoma is honestly they're in the same boat with Iowa to me, just because the older I get, the more I look at these preseason rankings, the more I'm like, money isn't real. Football is starting not to be real, and it's just like, which one is going to draw the most attention?
Yeah.
And normally, these are most of the names that we're used to seeing, but. Bro, watching, if you actually watch the game, Ole Miss, come on, man. Ole Miss, they probably, you know what, this whole Michael Orr thing might be selling that point too. Ole Miss got some bills to pay. They we got to throw out all the stops. So they put them on the preseason ranking, and now they're on the map again. But I really feel like NC State was disrespected. Granted, we drafted a couple people from defense, but at the same time, it's I don't feel like we lost much. We lost a two-headed monster, of course, but it's we gained a lot too. So I don't know. Well, maybe that's just bias to me, but I don't know. I don't know how much thought went into this preseason ranking, but I'm excited to see how it pans out.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I think what's his name? Drake May was one of the top quarterbacks for the preseason.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's on the Heisman watch list too, I believe.
Already?
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that happened too.
I'm probably excited to watch Wisconsin play. Luke Fickell, obviously, new head coach there.
Yeah.
They had a huge turnover through the transfer portal. So for once in a long time, I'm actually pretty excited to watch Wisconsin play.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good call.
If you look at I'm looking at the NCAA site showing the rankings, and it says others receiving votes. So Texas Tech got 101, South Carolina got 73, UCLA got 66, UTSA 64, blah, blah, blah. You go down, Coastal Carolina got 3, State got 1. And I had to scroll back up to make sure I'm looking at the right year. And yeah, August 14th, 2023.
That's wild.
That's wild.
I would take South Carolina over
Duke got 4. Duke, shout out Duke, but Duke got 4.
That's wild.
The boys from Minnesota got 6. And Pittsburgh got 16. So I'm like, something's amiss.
That's wild.
This whole conference redistricting got people thinking crazy.
It does, man. Shocker, spoiler alert, whatever you want to call it, upset alert. 5 of these teams lose within the first 3 weeks.
I'm feeling it.
Easy. It's wild. Man, I'm not sold on this list. This is rough. The 1 through 4, I think they got right. Other than that, you can flip a coin on some of those. And then on the back half, just terrible. Yeah, your boys in state got kind of hosed. But is what it is.
I like to see FSU back. I mean, I'm not mad at that at all.
No.
I'm high on Jordan Travis, so I like to see that. But I don't know, man.
And if you look by conference, SEC has the most top 25. They got 7 teams. Big Ten right behind them at 6. Now, if you add in the new conference alignment, the Big Ten actually outweighs the SEC here. You take in USC, Texas, Oklahoma. This is wild. We're gonna have a different college football landscape for next year.
Let's see. Okay, so looking at that top 4, I think only one of those teams makes it to the playoff. because I think USC represents the Big Ten, and that I don't know. I just don't think Michigan, like how are Michigan, Ohio State, they always put those two up there, and like virtually only one can really make it. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I don't think either of them make it. I think USC is better.
You don't think?
I think the ACC has to represent someone. Like there's a lot of pressure on the ACC to get someone in there. And then my sleeper pick is Utah. I'm just like, there's got to be a team that's undefeated or has one loss that isn't in this bloodbath of SEC, Big Ten. Like all the SEC teams and Big Ten teams are going to have 2 or 3 losses at least.
Yeah.
You know, I just think it's going to be weird. I don't know how this is going to look. So to have 2 SEC teams and 2 Big Ten teams in your top 4, it's like, it's not going to stay like that.
No, I agree with you.
Bro, where did Oregon State come from?
That's what I'm wondering too.
Like, I can't even say I'm mad at it. It's just because, like, I mean, they did do fairly well last year, if I remember right.
Yeah, they did.
I don't remember anybody like as far as Wisconsin, I at least remember their running back. He was pretty good, but Oregon State, I don't know. I think they beat out a couple of teams.
They went 10-3. The only losses: number 7 USC, number 12 Utah. They beat number 9 Oregon. They won against Florida in the Vegas Bowl. Like, they got some good wins. They beat Montana State, which is a big FCS team. But
that was another thing too. Speaking of Oregon, I got mad because they put Bo Nix on the list of quarterbacks to watch, and I'm like, bro, give it this. That man is my age, man. You got to give it up.
He's
go to trade school with Miles Jack or something.
Yeah, there you go. They put out a billboard in Times Square for him.
Ugh.
Yeah. Wild. All right.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
See the first, obviously the first game this weekend, college football. Is it playing in Dublin?
That's right, baby.
It's
been a common trend the past couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Notre Dame and Navy. Is that right? Yeah. So tune in Saturday morning. We'll be breaking down all those week 0 games that we're excited to do. So stick tuned. All right. Got to give a little teaser to the intro we're going to drop for Saturday. Something about a hype video for college football just gives me the goosebumps. So just a little tease there. But God, I remember watching those like in high school playing games.
Yeah.
Football's back, baby.
I don't know what it is about like the graphic designers and the videographers nowadays. Like in high school, I wasn't that into them, but now, oh my God, this is like theatrical and cinematic and stuff. I'm like, see, this is what they see now that like the competition is not as much there as it used to be. They had to fill it with something. That's it.
What it is.
I like it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Exactly. All right. Let's we're gonna move into a little high school football, then we jump back to the pros here. And Devontae, you can kind of take the lead here. High school NIL deals are starting to pop off.
I'm saying at first I started to see it. I forgot which players. I can look it up right now, but there was a couple times where I saw it with basketball, but apparently there are some football players that have been getting into the NIL deals, and I kept thinking like it's like a good or bad, you know. So like, what do you guys think? So imagine, you know, you're a star athlete again in high school, and the local car dealership that's probably a money laundering scheme is like, we'll give you a car and that's the money. You just keep winning games, and it's like, granted, you're already going to get a full scholarship to school. As an 18-year-old, what do you do with that money?
Like, it's wild. I've been talking to my coworkers about the Johnny Manziel documentary, and it's like the dad blaming Coach Sumlin in the program. And I'm like, look, dude, you could have been any program. If you give an 18-year-old millions of dollars, good fucking luck. you couldn't tell me shit.
Yeah.
Whether I was in high school or college, you give me $1 million, you ain't telling me nothing.
Apparently, so in May 3rd, that was when they approved high school athletes to get paid. So starting July 1st. And let's see if there are any. So apparently it's one of those things where, like, even if they're not star athletes, they can actually get paid or make money off of their social media, because that's the big thing. More, and I wonder, let me see. Yeah, I wonder if it's one of those things where, like, it started now that Bron's kids are in high school, and see if it's going to go from there.
So Bronny was the domino.
I don't know. I don't think he was the domino, because I think it was before with, you know how like high school basketball at the least just started blowing up. Like everybody's tuning into YouTube. You know, a lot of those high school games were on YouTube and stuff. That one guy, Mikey Williams, he went to some Charlotte school, then transferred back to California when North Carolina basketball got to be too much for him. But even before he got to Memphis, he was already making money off of his likeness and just like whatever views and stuff he had. So
that's a good call. Like, maybe it was the Ball family. Maybe they were the ones that led into this. But yeah, you're right. Like, I remember watching like Melo on YouTube, and like
but he didn't get anything from it. We just know like who Melo is,
as far as we know. Yeah.
It said, so Bronny James and Arch Manning, and so those are the three big NIL millionaires. Which Bronny James and Arch Manning, I mean, they were going to be millionaires regardless. So it's like the rich get richer.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's still wild. Like, so I wonder how much. And Malachi Nelson, that's the quarterback out of LA. So that's the big one that I heard about. That wasn't like a child of somebody famous. So I just keep thinking, like, man, someday, like, I'm already 6'3". So I have hope of having a child having an NIL deal. So
there you go. Yeah.
We'll see what
was it. I can't remember the kid's last name. Nico, somebody from Tennessee. Like, he's on Tennessee's campus. He's a freshman. He's already got a mansion, just sitting on fraternity row by himself. Like,
that's wild.
Wild. Oh, go ahead.
I was thinking about all the were they a basketball player or
they're a football player? They're a quarterback. So they're going to back up Joe Milton, and then
were they out of this is the one out of LA?
Yeah, that flip.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, like stuff like that, man. It's like that's how I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm a hater at heart, but at the same time, I want everybody to get money. But it's stuff like that reminds me, like, money isn't real, because like this is just happening right now. This man, all he needs to do is just like pass English 4 or something like that, and then he'll be a millionaire. Boy.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Man, I'm just thinking about when I was in high school, what I would do to make money. You know, just like maybe babysit one night. Oh gosh, like I mean, like it doesn't hurt for these players to make a name for himself. I'm just thinking of even just kind of like on a smaller scale, like if you're a small city and you're the quarterback, kind of the face of a town, like everyone knows.
Well, Mike Winchell action.
Yeah, I mean, anybody, like for us, I think as a kid growing up, it was like Cameron Maben. Like Cameron Maben was a baseball player out of Asheville.
Yeah.
And it ended up going pro, but everyone knew who Cameron Maben was. You know, he was like this kind of this star athlete in town. If he is a face on, you know, you use like a car dealership, you know, maybe it's even just like a restaurant, like French fries restaurant in Asheville. And Cam Maben's like promoting it or something. I don't know. I don't know at what point it gets too crazy, but I don't think it's weird. I mean, that's something in our culture, just kind of advertisement, and sports are money. I mean, you know, sports just make a ton of money.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it's crazy. I think each kid, it's kind of the whole the whole Spider-Man thing with great power comes great responsibility. Like
Mhm.
you just have to understand, like, all right, I'm making money. This doesn't mean that I've made it. This doesn't mean that I've got it yet. But now I have means to kind of do things, to pay through school or to do this.
Yeah.
So I do think it's good in a sense, but it could also be it could be toxic if it's not done wisely. So yeah.
Way to play both sides there, Fitz. I like it. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's just complex. It's just
is.
complex. I don't think there's not like an easy solution for this. I think it's a response to the NCAA just being tightwads for the past however many years, where you can't even buy Chris Webber a hot dog, without getting reprimanded for it. So this is what happens when you're sticklers. It's gonna swing the other way.
Trying to be greedy. It does make me think about those coaches like the Dabos that were like real tight-lipped and tight-assed about giving players money. And now that the playing field is now kind of equal and everybody has a chance, I haven't really heard them say anything more about it, but I do kind of see them getting worried, like, oh, shoot, they figured me out. Because you got to wonder, like, I still – like, I don't know, they might like ban this YouTube, but I still wonder about the Alabama machine sometimes. And I'm thinking, like, a lot of times, like, a lot of players, they sign these, like, they commit to different schools, right? And the school is cool. But, like, imagine being a star athlete and you have to live in, like, Kansas or Kentucky or Alabama. And I wonder, like, do people think about that? And I guess the pros outweigh the cons, but there had to be something at the beginning for Alabama players to be there. Because, like, why would you willingly go to Alabama? What did they give you to live in Alabama before internet? Before internet, bro. Like, Alabama wasn't the Alabama we know, but they did have good players. Like, with, what's brother's name? Sean Alexander. What was he doing in Alabama before the internet?
Came from Boone, Kentucky. In the back was a Kentucky team.
Well, see, all right, so never mind. Like, it was like going from, what, Lewisburg to Atlanta, I guess.
But now, I will say this, that I'll tell you 3 stories real quick. There's a story that Matthew Stafford, when he was going to leave early for Georgia, he walks out of his mailbox, and there's $500,000 sitting in his mailbox to not leave. Okay. The other story, sorry, I meant to Jeffrey Pagan. I played against him at Asheville High. He was a Florida commit. Flipped on decision day to go to Bama. He shows up in a brand new Chrysler.
Wait, like you saw him at school with the Chrysler?
Yes.
Or like,
yeah.
Chrysler is wild. That's like
Chrysler 300. That's all I'm saying. All right. So, Matt, go ahead. What's your thoughts here?
Just extremely jealous, like extremely jealous. I played my football, obviously at my university. I was a centre midfielder of the first team. I played with a guy who used to play for Arsenal's like academy. And there would be 3 people and a dog who turn up and watch, you know what I mean? And like you might get a free pint of beer after the game behind the bar. And in the States, it's just the high school games, these crazy NIL deals. And fair play to the kids. If they're quality players, they should get what they deserve. And I mean, it is going to go too far at some cases. Some kids are going to be sport rotten, but that's just always going to happen, I think, in these such scenarios. But yeah, just extremely jealous, and fair play to the kids who just able to milk the situation, because for years and years and years, the NCAA would write hard asses, about it all, and you got to let the students milk it.
Exactly.
And even with it, like you were mentioning the NCAA, I was just thinking, like, I felt like they picked and choose, because there's no way, like, I'm stuck on like I need some private investigation on Nick Saban, because this Alabama, man, there's no way. Like, every time they got all these players from different places, now granted it was home cooking, some of these players were from Alabama, but come on now, like, taking a player away, like people from Florida, for the most part, love Florida. So to take Derrick Henry away from the likes of the U or Florida State. Now, granted, at the time, I don't think they were what they were before, but at the same time, like being able to play near home for people to at least come see you at home and on a big stage with a team that you grew up with. But I don't know. I think there's investigations to be had everywhere.
What I hate about this is what it does to not to keep staying on this, but it's so fascinating that just what it does to the purity of sport is it's almost like I feel like just doing it for the enjoyment of the game and like just enjoying your 4 years of high school ball and then same for college. Just I want to play my 4 years. Like you hear like basketball players in the 80s talk about that, like Ralph Sampson. Like I had the Boston Celtics calling me, but I just wanted to keep coming back to school, or Grant Hill, I wanted to play for Coach K all 4 years. Like there was more love of just like, I want to enjoy school. I want to enjoy it. And now I don't know. I think it does something to there's such a focus around money. And I think parents can buy into that. Even more so than kids. But I don't know. There's something about the purity, the purity of sport and athletes. Like the successful athletes are not necessarily the ones that have the private coach or like the personal trainer. Yes, that does benefit, but at the high school level, that doesn't always. It doesn't transfer over, and people think it does. It's almost like what is it, Rocky IV, when you got who's the Russian dude?
Ivan
Drago. It's like people are trying to create the Drago, and then meanwhile, like the real success are those athletes just putting in the day-to-day stuff with not all the fancy gadgets and stuff, but would play with heart. So I don't know. I think that's what's being sacrificed with all this.
But even with the purity, like I want an investigation on Coach K too. You don't think like a little extra, little sprinkle or something extra was involved to be like, I love the game.
You don't think Roy did that?
No, I just read Coach K's book. I'm a fan. I was a Tar Heel. My dad went to Chapel Hill. I'm a believer in Coach K. I'm a believer.
I think there's always in your programs that are just dominant year in, year out. I think there's always a little sprinkle of that. But look, for me as a coach, I love this. I want all my kids to go get paid. It's just the culture's changing. The world's changing. I don't think their heart's not into it, Fitz. I just think the world's changing. It's like what you see on social media is like, man, that kid's making money. He's an 8-year-old doing YouTube or whatever it might be. And it's like, well, shit, I'm a good football player. I should be making money. And their heart's still into it. Their love for the game is still into it. But if you can go get paid with that same love and energy, because at the end of the day, if your heart's not into the sport, you're not going to the next level. You're not going pro. It's not going to happen because you're not going to sign up to get beat up on every single day. So that's my 2 cents. I'm all for this. Let high school kids get paid. Shit, let middle school kids get paid. I don't give a fuck. Let them all.
Hell, I wish cross country was paying, man. If they were paying cross country athletes, I might have had a little cheddar back in the day.
That's right. I love it. All right, NFL. Let's talk about. We've talked about this before, but things are not getting any better. Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis Colts. It just seems like things are getting farther and farther apart, and this is the one running back holdup. It seems like. We talked about his numbers before. He's coming off 3,000 yards, almost 4,000, 33 tutties. And in 3 seasons, he's averaged 5.1 yards. Last year, he was hurt with that ankle injury. And it just – the two sides can't agree. He got a new agent. We talked about that. And it just seems like it soiled any relationship they had because he signed the extension, got a new agent, and then this whole shit just kind of blew up. So these are the favorites. Miami at plus 200, Bills plus 500. Chicago at plus 300, Cowboys at plus 700 to sign him. I think he stays a Colt because I think Jim Irsay is a lot like me, where he's stubborn as hell. He's not going to trade him just because he wants to be traded. I feel like Irsay's just he's that type of guy. But what's your all thoughts here?
Just not Chicago.
Are the Dolphins actually for real in the runnings?
They're the Vegas odd favorite to sign him.
Bro, it's 6 running backs there. What the heck? Dang.
They need a running back.
Do they though? I mean, like,
Well, they're trying to find it. I mean, I'm just saying they drafted a running back. They're trying to find their person, so it makes sense.
but it seems like they're still stuck on speed, and like Jonathan Taylor has the breakaway, but like he has to get that one cut before.
Right.
A lot of the guys are just burners, so like I wonder how they were gonna make it. Like Dalvin Cook probably was gonna be a better fit. I don't know. Wow.
What
Ravens
sucks
are
is
also up
I
there.
can see the Bears.
Because their number one is Kyrie. Oh shoot, yeah, Herbert. Not Herbert. Well, yeah, that is his last name.
Herbert's their guy, but it just that doesn't feel like he feels like a second back. They need
He is.
they need their dog.
And I'll tell you, yeah, the Bills seem to be out of the running. It's now, sorry, this is as of today. Just I looked at it. Dolphins plus 250, Chicago Bears plus 400, Ravens plus 700, Cowboys plus 750. So Ravens kind of take that Bills spot there.
Yeah.
Can't imagine it going to the Cowboys. Tony Pollard was fantastic when I watched him in the game.
Yeah, Tony Pollard's
It's
Tony Pollard's a
fantastic.
guy. And Deuce
But you get a
Vaughn,
two-headed
baby.
monster.
And Deuce Vaughn is having like
Yeah, that's
supposedly
true.
the best training camp ever. Every time I look on Twitter, he's just blowing up.
I tried to tell them about Deuce Vaughn. They didn't believe me. They didn't see the little ant power into defense. But now look,
Ant-Man.
Just anywhere but the Bears.
Man.
Anywhere but the Bears, yeah. I
I
would love for Cincinnati to
Cincinnati
sign him.
thrive because obviously Wisconsin manager, but like, yeah, anywhere but the Bears.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of Bears running back, Tariq Cohen seems to be all go for NFL workouts. Bun alum, shout out to the boy. So coming back from the ACL/Achilles injury. So fingers crossed for little man. Yeah. Lewisburg Pride.
You think the Bears call him back?
They need a back. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like you gave a guy a pretty big contract, and then, you know, obviously freak nature, he tears the ACL, then tears Achilles training to come back from the ACL injury. That's just shitty luck. I feel like you just cut your ties there. It sucks for him, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
all right. We talked about AFC. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying I wish him the best though. Like I want something to happen.
Yeah, for real. Did you play? No, you didn't play against him. He was a little bit younger than you.
He graduated 2 years after me.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't get a chance to play again. I'm gonna be honest. I only played 2 years of high school football, and all of that shit is a blur. So I only know people I played against that like I talk to this day.
Yeah.
All these people remember. I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched film like twice because it was like, what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna block. What else am I supposed to do? So like, I don't remember anybody that I played with unless like they bring up something. I'm like, yeah, I guess.
You're right.
You know, CT and whatnot.
Dude, I tell you, if it wasn't for like the only two names I remember playing against, Jeffrey Pagan from Asheville High, who went on to play for Bama and then Houston Texans, and then Caleb Presley, Barstool's personality. He was our rival's quarterback and fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Dude, he balled out. I had one sack on him, and I was like feeling so good, but then he lit us up for like 10 tutties. So
Hey, I once blocked his basketball shot in rec league, 3rd grade.
let's
Never
go.
forget. I got the jump ball call. I was tiny. He was way taller than me. I blocked him. Got the tie up. Oh, great.
He's always been the same personality, just super goofy. But I'm glad it's working out for him. All right.
The only claim to fame I have is what's his brother's name? Kareem Martin that went on to play UNC and for the Cardinals.
Oh yeah,
And he played at Roanoke Rapids, and I do remember that night because like it was like a stalemate, and going up against him, I'm like, bro, college football is not it. Every time I blocked him, he just like hit me in my chest, like my clavicle. I'm like, yeah, this is not it. I'm waiting for the game to be over with, bro.
That's exactly it. Jeffrey Pagan, I went against him at the he never lined up against me because he was at end and I was at center. But at the Shrine Bowl combine, we went to one-on-ones. And I went after 2 reps of him. And I fucking just blocked him. I said, 5-star my ass. Get the fuck out of here. He came back and just bull rushed me and put my dick in the dirt. And I was like, damn, I should not have pissed brother off, man. It was rough. Yeah. I learned my lesson not to talk shit after that. All right. let's talk. We talked AFC odds. Let's talk a little NFC odds. We had 2 Packer fans, a Falcon fan on here. So I'll be the unbiased AFC guy here, which that'll be good. Let's start with the NFC West. Seahawks plus 200, but the leader of that division, 49ers, minus 165. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Rams plus 1,000. Buda Baker and the Cardinals plus 2,700.
Damn.
Yeah.
I ate them up on that one. Good Lord.
I like these odds. Like 49ers, I think they're the clear-cut favorite. I think Seahawks could battle them.
Yeah.
And the other 2 teams, I just don't think they have enough star power to get this thing done. Thoughts from you guys, though?
Yeah. I'll roll with these odds. Something I thought that was interesting too and kind of messed up. I think as far as cap space, the Rams only have like 10 mil left. So it's like, yeah, they're going through their Falcons phase, but at least they only got 1 year of it. We had like 3 years of it. So like they're kind of stuck wherever they are unless somebody wants to just play for free or some food or something. But
Some food stamps.
Yeah. The 49ers pretty much got it, but I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna give it until about like week 7. I feel like the Seahawks might be able to pull away. I don't know. It's always something weird that happens with the 49ers that kind of pulls them back, but yet somehow they still make the playoffs. But I feel like the Seahawks can make that extra push that they couldn't last year. Like to me, they shocked last year, so I feel like they can keep rolling off of that one.
I don't hate that take, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting, like Brock Purdy versus Geno, if those are kind of the 2. This is Geno's time to shine. They're loaded on offense, it feels like, with a good running back, solid receiving core. Geno looked good last year. I'm just excited to see what he can do. He's kind of at that what is he, like 32 or 33? I feel like that's like when QBs can really actually have like a kind of crazy good year. It's like they're maybe losing it a little bit athletically, but they're just sharper than ever. So I don't know. I have high hopes for the Seahawks offense, and I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I think Brock Purdy has earned that spot. You feel like you can see it, but you wonder if there's going to be a learning curve here. If there's going to be like maybe an inkling of like a sophomore slump that he could easily bounce back from. He's a hard worker. I think he is. I think he does have the stuff, but I do wonder when's that hurdle going to come. It's almost been too easy for him. And we're kind of just saying, oh yeah, it's the Niners. The Niners are taking this division. But I do think the Seahawks, it's going to be really, really close between those 2.
Yeah.
As much as I despise the Seahawks, I would low-key like to bet on them in this because you just always feel like there's a chance of a big 49ers player being injured. It just always seems to happen every Sunday where like McCaffrey goes down or Bosa goes down or Kittle goes down, and you think, well, fuck, he's out for the season. So yeah, for the reason the boys mentioned earlier, Seahawks I think might sneaky take this.
Yeah. I love your all's takes here. I did read an interesting article. I want your all's thoughts. There literally came out this week, maybe Sunday or Monday. Trey Lance, biggest bust, question mark. I think that is a wild statement. He only started 1 game, got injured in the first drive of the second game of last year. Mm-hmm. Sure, his first game was not good, but what rookie's debut is phenomenal, right? Few and far between. To call him the biggest bust, that's crazy talk to me.
Yeah. He hasn't gotten his chance. Yeah.
No.
He didn't get a chance. I know it's a little far ahead, but that's honestly how I felt about Desmond Ridder. Like people kind of wrote him. I've just been reading article after article of people writing him off, and I'm like, bro, he played. Well, granted, he played maybe 2 or 3 games, and he didn't do that bad. But like, I feel like he wasn't given a fair shot. And as far as with Trey Lance, that is a wild statement, but he kind of welcomed it because going into the draft, he kind of put himself in that position by not. Now, granted, he was probably doing his own training, doing his own thing, whatever. But to like step away from the beginning of the season I don't know, man. That's kind of wild. You could have at least given him like 4 weeks and then kept going. But like he stopped and just prepped for I feel like he only prepped for the draft and didn't really prep to be a pro. And so I feel like that kind of held him back up till now. But
I that take.
He didn't really get a fair shot. I would welcome seeing it, but what I saw in preseason, I'm like, man, I don't know about this. So,
I like that. That's a good call.
I think he's the biggest bust. I'm sure there's loads of other players for the biggest bust, but probably one of the worst trade ups, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
At least not of all times, but he is.
Yeah.
He's starting to. Well, as of now, it's looking like it's about to be up there because trading up for that, because that wasn't the one that Justin Fields was in, right? It was.
Yep.
Well, it's looking kind of shaky.
All right. Let's move on to our next division here. NFC South. Devontae's division.
Yeah. This is ugly. Everything's even.
Saints plus 130. Falcons plus 210. Panthers plus 360. Bucks plus 750. Maybe it's ugly. Maybe it's competitive, right? Maybe it's the most competitive division of football, as someone will say.
But, bro, I feel like it should be – I'm not going to lie to you. Being a Falcons fan for the past few years, this needs to be a little bit closer. I'm not even going to hold you. There are some spots where each of these teams are different, but we got to be honest with ourselves for real. Obviously, I'm going to take my Falcons. I believe in them for sure. They're finally getting weapons. They finally somehow – Terry Fontenot worked his magic, and they got draft picks, and they got – a chance, and they got cap space, so that's pretty much all he needed. Plus, not to mention the schedule was kind of easy, but don't tell anybody else that. So we'll see what happens with that. But I want to say the NFC South is very somewhat even. It's giving kind of ACC vibes a little bit, where like there's like there's one team that steps above, and it used to be the Bucks, and now not so much. So we'll see. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I can't even say I'm excited to see what will happen just because it's so close. And I'm really gonna get pissed off because it's gonna take one game for them to be out of playoff contention because it's so close. But we'll see. I got the Falcons taking the NFC South. Woo.
I'm a believer in Baker Mayfield. I think this is his time, and it's not so much Baker. He's got a good team around him. That's still that Bucks defense. And it is a wide open division, but maybe how I feel about Geno. Maybe this year it's finally Geno and Baker. Like it's finally their moment. They're both in situations where they might be able to showcase. And these were guys that should have been great, right out of the gate. And they've both struggled in their ways. I don't know. But something just tells me, with those odds, I also might just take, I don't know, just put a little on it.
Are you booking Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, NFC Championship?
That'd be crazy. That'd be a crazy. I don't know if you can do a parlay on that, but to put the Seahawks and the Bucks both winning
go ahead and
their
put that on
division.
the intro too, because if this is right, that might be the 13th reason.
I mean, the NFC is gonna be crazy. I will say this: we covered AFC last week. AFC seems like, all right, these are the teams. These are the teams.
Yeah,
the order's gonna change. Who wins the division? It's gonna be one of these two teams. But overall, these 6 teams are going to make it, plus an additional, and that could be a wild card. Whereas I see the NFC as it's just going to be a fucking shit show. It's just going to be anybody. I think it's wide open. So
no lies.
So that's where I'm kind of just, I don't know. My gut tells me this one's Baker's. My gut tells me, the Seahawks, I think they can steal it from the Niners. I don't know.
Yeah, forgive me for saying Devontae, but this is probably the worst division in the NFL.
You didn't lie. I can't argue it. I can't at this point. Now, give us a couple of years. It might be worth the argument, but not right now.
I have no idea who's gonna win this. I kind of don't care because I want to watch whoever wins come out of it. I'll be interested. I have no dog in the race. But I would love to know what the odds are for like the winner of the division to have a worse record than 8 and 9
Yeah.
Go on, all right.
or 7 and 10. Like the winner is going to be like 7 and 10 and go into the playoffs.
All right.
Somebody is a chill.
Let's
Chill.
Like it's true though. Like if the winner's going to have this record of 7 and 10 or 8 and 9.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's rough.
That's real rough. Look, Fitz, I love you. You know it. But your quarterback takes are just they're rough, bro.
They're legendary. Legendary.
You and Tim have the hottest quarterback
the
takes.
coldest.
In the absolute worst quarterback takes. Yeah. So
I bet Derek Carr throws more picks than Baker
Oh.
Mayfield does this year.
you've been texting Tim on the side. Give me some Jameis Winston's coming back week 4.
I don't know.
All right. Let's move on. NFC East. Philly, the defending champs of the NFC. Minus 115. Cowboys plus 175. Giants plus 700. Commanders looked real good in preseason the other night, plus 1,300. And then ended the Ravens undefeated preseason streak going back for, 7 seasons, I felt like. So,
Do you feel like that? I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty good play by that corner with that pick. But do you feel like because they kept pushing it, like, oh, they haven't lost a preseason game? It was. I don't know if you watch basketball enough, but let's say like he hasn't missed a free throw yet, and as soon as they say it,
Yeah.
the commentator's
Yeah.
curse.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel like that was somewhat of a commentator's curse because like I can't say, like I've seen people say like, oh, Sam Howell's the future, HTTR, all that stuff. I'm like, all right, let's peel back a little bit. It was just playing.
Yeah.
No, let's pull it back.
Yeah. This one's Eagles to lose. Eagles Cowboys. I think that's the order. This is the one that's nice and this one's nice and easy.
Yeah.
I'll go one further. It's Eagles is conference to lose. Like I think they're by far the best team in the NFC.
Point.
They're by far the best team in this division. Saying that Dallas and Giants are pretty good teams. I feel like both those teams probably could sneak into the playoffs. But it's going to still be the Eagles. And Jalen Carter already looks like an absolute menace.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks dangerous.
I'm about to pull a Fitz tape. I feel like 3 out of these 4 teams will probably somehow make the playoffs just because NFC, right? But
Danny Dimes.
yeah, I'm looking.
Danny Dimes. That was another one of my guys, right?
I'm definitely looking at the Giants to somehow sneakily pull away. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like somehow or another, I'm looking at the Giants to pull away, just because I remember last year they kind of grit and ground their way up, and it really is the Eagles to lose. Now the Giants can somehow make the playoffs, but hey, man, like Saquon, this might be one of those things where like Saquon has to put on a show because like I'm trying to get some money elsewhere, even though they probably still won't try to pay running backs. So he might try to put on another show like he did last year. Then they had, granted, Giants don't really have receivers. They have young receivers, but they don't have a receiver. I saw like this post or something that they were talking about the heights of the NFC wide receivers, and they had the nerve to put Sterling Shepard for the Giants. I'm like, man, that's rough to have Sterling Shepard as your wide receiver 1. So maybe they pull out, but I'm looking at the Giants to pull away from this somehow for some stupid reason. Just like I said for the Seahawks, I think the same will happen for the Giants.
Yeah. Look, oh man, the Giants' only bright side is Jalen Hyatt and Saquon Barkley, and Hyatt's come back from an ACL injury. And who the fuck is throwing him the ball? Danny Dimes. Giants are dead. Eagles sweep this division in my eyes. I see where you guys are going. I can't buy into it. I just can't do it. All right, last division, NFC North. Lions. Where is Tim at where you need him?
Wow.
Up in the sky, leading this division odds plus 145.
Shout out, Tim.
Vikings, the defending champs, plus 260. Jay Love and the Packers plus 350. and then Fields plus 430. Once again, a very competitive division here.
I'm real curious to see what Matt thinks.
Well, I'm going to be outrageously biased and following the Packers throughout. I think we might be. I don't think we're going to win the division, but I'm still going to pick them because ride or die.
That's right.
I generally think the Bears are going to go 3-13 again. I don't really rate them at all, but they can have Patrick Mahomes. I wouldn't rate them, to be honest, because of the Bears. But yeah, no, Lions scared of them. Scared of the Lions, I must say. I feel like just getting better and better and better and better every year under Dan Campbell, and if the Vikings have shored up their defense, which was absolutely terrible last year, they're going to be a good team. But J Love has had quietly good preseason. I'm pretty excited to see what he looks like going into week 1. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Packers because I'm delusional.
No, I don't think I had the Packers at just around 500, either 8-9 or 9-8. That was before preseason. Until I saw this Love to Romeo Doubs connection. And I'm like, I think we could go 10-7. I'm like, we might be able to squeak in there. They've rated Dobbs has had, I don't know how they determined this, but they said number 1 receiver in preseason is Dobbs, just in terms of who's really performed. I'm all in on Packers. I'm like, keep sleeping. That's what I keep telling people. Everyone's like, oh, your Packers are going to struggle this year. They're going to go 6-11. I'm like, keep sleeping on us, because I think we've got positions, we've got defense. There's some holes. There's some holes in there that we need to tweak up, but I think we can do it. I think we got guys stepping up. Rashawn Gary is going to be a force this year. We still got Bakhtiari so far. He had been traded to the Jets to Packers East. We still got a little Thunder and Lightning
jersey if he goes. I'll tell you that.
We still got a little Thunder and Lightning. We got Christian Watson. We got Romeo Doubs. We got Luke Musgrave, tight end. I am excited for this Packers team. It's not the faces we've seen in the past, but it's a coaching staff that wants to prove that, you know what, we're also a big part of the success we've had around here. That when the team started to have success after the McCarthy era, that this coaching staff has put together a front that we have a game plan. So I'm excited, and I love all the Packers hate, because I'm just ready to put it in people's faces.
Yeah, I feel like the NFC North is basically the NFC South, except some more players are good.
I rate that.
I don't think the Bears are going to go 3-13 again. I don't see it. I'll give them a Falcons year of 7-10, and I also see the Packers pulling away at 9-8. The Packers aren't a bad team. The Lions aren't a bad team either. But I'm trying to figure out how exactly they're going to put all those pieces together. Yeah. And I'm not a Jared Goff believer. I'm cool on that. But and then the Vikings. I mean, yeah, it's Kirk Cousins.
No, they suck.
Hurt, but it's still the Packers with a 2-headed monster at running back. I forgot to mention that. Not to mention that your other running back, I think, that got drafted, Emmanuel Wilson. Don't know where he's out of, but he's been doing pretty well. And then on the other side, Christian Watson, he's still there. Yeah. And apparently, the Packers drafted 2 tight ends, so that's another.
Yeah, Luke Musgrave is going to be an absolute beast.
One thing I noticed about the Packers, they always have defensive players that nobody knows, and somehow they end up being dogs. I remember when I was growing up, that dude Nick Bishop out of UCLA or something. I think middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knew Clay Matthews, but the middle linebacker, Blake Martinez, before he got locked up for insider training for trading cards and stuff. Yeah. He's not locked up, but he is in trouble. But yeah, Blake Martinez got his start up there. Yeah. He somehow became a dog. And so it's always
we also had a tendency to trade away players before they were named All-Pro.
Yeah.
Like
So it's like,
who was it? Micah. Shoot, he's on the
Micah
Bills
Hyde.
now.
Yeah,
Micah Hyde. We traded him before he
Yeah.
got good. Casey Hayward. We traded him to San
Yep.
Diego. It's like,
So
come
it's
on,
like y'all
guys.
build the players up for another man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I see it for the Packers. And honestly, y'all know I feed off of hate. So I feel like not necessarily Aaron Rodgers, but it's like, wow, he for real left us in the dust. We gotta rise from the ashes like the Phoenix. So like it's gonna be like a revenge tour for the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. And shoot, you know what? You know what'd be crazy? A Packers Jets Super Bowl. That'd be super crazy.
We're like a year away from that.
Ooh,
But,
hey, man, you never know. You gotta
actually,
keep the faith, man.
I'm
You gotta
taking
keep
the
faith.
Lions.
Like I said, you have
I should say I'm taking the Lions to win the division. I got the
come on.
Packers going like 10-7, but the Lions, I think the Lions are gonna be like, I think they could be like 13-4 or like 14-3. I think they could be, just looking at their schedule, like and then just in terms of the division. I think everyone's gonna be killing the Bears this year. The Bears are gonna get like 3 wins. Like I just think they're gonna be pretty tough. They're gonna be rough.
A lot to unpack for me right here. Bears down. They're dead. Obviously, we already said the reasons. Bears are out of this race before it even starts. Vikings were a miracle child last year.
Yeah.
Sneaky underrated. Every year we heard Vikings suck from Fitz, and then every week they just found a way to win.
Yeah,
You like that,
barely
Kirk
win.
Cousins.
Win by the skin of their teeth.
Hey, a win's a win in the league. I think that that magic falls off on them. I think they're done. Dead. Bury him. Viking burial. Emmanuel Wilson, you mentioned him. I think he's a sleeper from Fort Valley State. Go Wildcats. He's got to make the roster. Though.
Wow.
Niche.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like the way he's been balling out in preseason. It's been cool. Rewinding the clock, 2008. Rodgers has his first season to start. Packers go 6-10. Over under set 7.5 for the Packers. I think Jordan Love leads them to 8 wins. Hammer the over of 7.5. Lions win this division.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm with you.
All right.
That's fair.
World Cup, real quick. Spain takes it home. Matt, I am so sorry. English women. I was pulling them for you, but I did say last week, if it's England, Spain gets it done. I just feel like they were grooving and moving, and what they were doing offensively, I think it I'm not a soccer guy, but from outside looking in, it looked like what they were doing offensively matched up really well against England's defense. And I just don't think England had the offensive power to compete with them. But what an exciting World Cup. I'm so sorry for your girls. They didn't quite get it done. Thoughts from you from across the pond.
I think everything you just said there is like pretty much bang on. Like Spain,
Let's go!
Spain played so good. So good, right? Just I was watching it Sunday morning, and they were just knocking around our players with absolute ease. The technical precision was outrageous, and I think the England manager got a little bit wrong, playing 3 at the back, which meant Spain's fullbacks could find space behind England's defence quite easily, and that's how the goal came from their captain Olga Kamano. Spain were fantastic. The referee, who was American, literally was absolutely horrific. Took 10 minutes to decide a VAR call, despite the fact that happened right in front of her in real life, and then gave a penalty to Spain. England saved the penalty, but that's another bitch about VAR another day. But yeah, England just didn't create enough. They weren't good enough. They got it tactically wrong. Spain were well and truly the better team, and they won. You know, you can't really say anything more than that. They were quality, and they deserved the win.
Keith Fitz, anything from you? I guarantee you Fitz watched nothing of the Women's World Cup.
I watched none of it. I was watching World Championships track and field, though. Let's go.
I was about to say I would watch a YouTube breakdown of you talking about the game before I would watch the. Because I feel like, these are new words for soccer I haven't heard, so I think I will watch the breakdown for that one. But how did it going into the game? Like, what was the one part of the game where you felt like, it's over for England? Because I know you mentioned like they were better tactically, I believe. So like, At what point did you feel like, yes, it's just over?
Good question. Because it was a 1-0, you always felt like there was always a chance. Like, just get a goal, take it at extra time. I just felt that when England weren't really creating any interest in anything, really, the 85th minute, just weren't getting anywhere. And Spain, stereotypically, their footballers are fantastic at gamemanship, right? They dive tactically fantastically. So when England are trying to pin them back in their defence and try and get the ball off them, they'll just dive, fall over, and Spain will get the free kick, and all the pressure that England were putting on was released. So that happened over and over again. It just felt like it was just slipping away. There wasn't a singular moment that I was like, oh shit, that's the World Cup gone. It was just felt like it was gradually slipping away.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
It's just that I hate to bring it back to America, but like as a Falcons fan, that's what I feel. I'm not even gonna hold you. Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny story with that too. There was, I don't know if it happened on everybody else's TVs, but when they went up 28-3, there was a glitch on the TV. It didn't go out, but like it kind of froze, and it kept going. I was like, "Yep, that's where my delusion is. That's where the simulation stops." And so, like, I was thinking of whether or not if there was a moment like that for you, seeing your team like that, but like that, it's like a slow, painful death.
Slow, painful death, yeah.
We live to fight another day.
Yeah. All right. Let's do pub parlay, boys. We'll do a random question. And I got a quote for us, and then we'll go from there. All right. Pub parlay. Let's make some money. Football's back. College football. We got preseason. Life's good. We got baseball. Wherever you guys want. Let's take it home.
Let's see what we got here.
I'm going to go for Brentford Football Club to beat Crystal Palace.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Crystal Palace. Apparently, everybody's been giving Crystal Palace like a whooping.
Brentford money line.
Brentford money line.
I love it.
Local London derby, London rival game.
Are they playing Sunday?
Saturday for
Saturday.
10 o'clock? Yeah, 10 o'clock your time.
Okay. I'm going to take Jacksonville State over UTEP. A lot of people predicting UTEP maybe win their division. They start off 0-1, though. Jacksonville State, great program.
UTEP, is that about Aaron Jones, man?
Yep.
That is where he went. El Paso.
El Paso, baby.
They got him out of nowhere.
That's my guy.
That's my guy.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hate these week 1 games because, like, as I'm scrolling, it's like, all right, man, you for real,
Yeah.
for real
nothing there.
paid to get to play this team like UT. Who was it? UT Martin and UGA. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Be for real. Let's see who we got. Oh, Saturday, which is crazy. Let me see.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I would like to see USC over UNC on their game, the Duke's Mayo Classic. That weird game.
So we'll have to wait for that one next week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Remind me to say that one. Let me see. God. Let me see. All right. I'll go with the home squad. Is there Mariners? Mariners are playing the White Sox tomorrow. I'm gonna take my Mariners money line.
Seattle money line.
They've been on a roll. I'm trying to get them to the playoffs, to the banner.
I like it. Fitz.
I'm looking at pitching matchups. Does it matter which day?
So Keith's doing tomorrow. So if you do baseball, let's do tomorrow. I'll put it in ASAP. We'll get this episode out tomorrow morning. Your boy's
I
gonna
don't
produce
want
like
to
a
do. Can I
maniac.
do Friday? Can I do Friday?
So that means Keith would have to change his to Friday.
Damn it.
That's all.
All
I'll
right.
see what matchups we got on Friday.
Look at Friday because I really like this. This is tasty.
All right, what do you got?
Twins, Rangers. Twins are hot. They're leading their division. Rangers are clearly going to be favoring that game, but Sonny Gray is pitching. I think that's a favorable matchup.
Twins
in
money line
Minnesota.
Friday.
It just feels right. It just feels
You
right.
are. You might be 0 for 7 picking the Twins,
I
but
am 0 for
this is
7
the
on the
one
Twins.
that gets us back on track.
Yeah,
Wait, who are they? Who are they? Let me see. They're playing.
they got the
again.
Rangers who are good,
Oh,
but the Twins are they're rolling
oh,
here.
you think this Friday's the night? All right,
Friday's
Twins
night.
are rolling.
good. The Mariners got the Royals, so yeah, I'm definitely taking. The
Oh
Mariners.
yeah,
Okay.
Mariners easy.
That helps. Now, see, I don't know. I can't say that with my teams. It's like, oh, this is easy money, and then what happens? The Royals
Yeah.
end up winning 5-2.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll say it for you. Though.
I'll take the money line. I'll take the money line. on the
Let's
Mariners.
go. Brentford money line, Jacksonville State money line, Mariners money line, Twins money line. Let's go. All right. Here's the quote. This comes from our boy Gardner Minshew. Vincent Van Gogh, people told him, you can't be a great painter. You only have one ear. You know what he said? Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
That's a word right there.
That's
That is
right.
a word right there.
Love Gardner Minshew. Minshew mania, man. Bring it back. So I just want to throw that. Typically, I try to find a random sports quote every week if there's a good one. So that was a good one for this past week. Any random question for you guys?
With the upcoming NFL season, which NFL game would you want to go to the most?
Ooh. Not gonna lie to you, it sounds stupid, but like it is kind of selfish reason. But on January 7th, the Falcons finished the regular season at the Saints in New Orleans. I really want to go to that game because it's a week before my birthday.
Oh,
A week before my birthday in New Orleans would be pretty cool, especially if they somehow accidentally win in New Orleans. You know,
you
could be a high
could,
stakes game.
you can
know?
clinch the
It could be-
division 7-10 if you win that game.
So it could be, it could be one of those games like whoever wins this, they're going to the wild. They make the wild card, and I'm, oh my god. So yeah, just that one, just in person. Probably not as much implications to the general football fan public, but seems like good timing to me.
I mean, I have to say a Packers game. I'm gonna say Week 4, Packers Lions on Thursday night. So it's right after our home opener. We're on the road for 2 weeks, and then Week 3 home opener, and then 4 days later we host the Lions at night. So maybe Jordan Love's first start at Lambeau, right? Because he didn't start at Lambeau; he played at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Or he came in at, wasn't that it?
You
Yeah.
started at Arrowhead.
Yeah. He started at Arrowhead. So this is his first start. His first start at Lambeau, get those jitters out. But then the second game against Detroit, and it's revenge. They beat us twice last year. They kept us from being in the playoffs. It's not Rodgers' team anymore. It's Love's team. So I think that's one I would love to be at.
Let me ask y'all before there's another. Well, I guess this is my random question. How do y'all feel as Packers fans that it's not Aaron Rodgers' team? Like, what's that transition in your mind? Is it like
Deja vu.
The teacher said she was pregnant or
It's
something?
exactly how it was with Favre.
Oh.
Like
Wow.
it's deja vu.
65% is all I care about.
Yeah.
What?
65%.
What
As
does
long
that
as he
mean?
plays 65% of the games.
Real.
Dude.
Real.
I mean, I still love Aaron Rodgers. Like, I still love watching Rodgers play.
Yeah.
But if he goes to that purple team, damn it, it's gonna be
Full circle.
It's
This
gonna
is a
be tough.
simulation.
like
Yeah.
if he goes to that Chicago team,
Mm.
I'm not gonna. That's not gonna sit well with me. But
He's
no, I like
Chicago's
him.
daddy.
It's okay being on the Jets.
He's been fun to watch in Hard Knocks. It's been good.
Yeah.
To go back to your question, Matt.
Yep.
Champagne right here says Houday on it. I'm only going to open it. We bring home the Super Bowl. So my most looking forward game that I'm going to go to, Bengals Super Bowl, August 22nd, 2023, year of our Lord. I'm calling it. Bengals win the Super
Wow.
Bowl. This is
I
our
like
year.
it. I like the
That's
commitment.
outrageous. My answer. So the week after we play the Lions, we play the Las Vegas Raiders in Vegas. Just watching the Packers
That's
in Vegas.
the Matt we know.
That's unbelievable. And then, if I can go to that one, the day after I turn 30, we play the Kansas City Chiefs in Lambeau Field, Sunday night football. So that's like that'd be a huge game to go to.
That'd be awesome. I could see you going to both of those games.
Yeah, I mean, I
That
kind
in
of want
Vegas
to.
is dangerous.
I need to get a job first, but I will do.
I love it. I love it. Hey, that's going to do it for the show. Hope you guys had a great time listening to it. We had a wonderful time making it. Me and Devontae, maybe Fitz, maybe Matt. We'll catch you Saturday. We'll see. And we'll talk a little college football. But you guys have one hell of a weekend.
See ya. We have to figure out our outro. Tim usually set me up. Damn it.
Where's our movie quote, Fitz?
Oh my gosh.
Fundamentals.
I need a new outro. I
would-
just need a new
We
thing
would be the
on.
bad boys of
I'm
Little
just
League.
lost.
I'm telling you now. We would
I
beat
even
the
watched
tar
a few good
out of the
men.
other team.
I
I'm just
had
gonna go
one
out and
ready.
say-
Just
Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has
Not
to be.
pub more. I mean,
Has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
man, I'm gonna get real theological on y'all. I think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. I'll just be real honest.
Let's get Luke Combs. I was begging for Luke Combs not too long ago. We'll get Luke Combs on here. I challenge Luke. I think I can actually beat him in shotgunning a beer. So if he thinks he's got the cojones to come on and try, then by all means, Luke, bring it on.
That's the intro. Bravo for me, James. I love it.